Welcome to Unlearn the Crap TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Unlearn the Crap TV is more than just a show. It's a movement towards breaking free from the disempowering structures designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many. It's about education, healing, and unlearning the detrimental beliefs that have been ingrained in society for generations. So now, please welcome the host of Unlearn the Crap TV, Kathy Baldwin.
Hello, and welcome to Unlearn the Crap TV, where we question everything so that we can achieve anything. Let me address the elephant in the room. I apologize for my voice. I have been getting a cold the last few days, and my voice is going in and out. So while I have a lot to say, I probably won't be doing a lot of talking today. But that's okay, because I've got two absolutely amazing guests that are going to join me. I have Lisa Van Sant and I have Alicia Richardson. These two women are going to knock your socks off, maybe even a little literally. Will, can you bring my guests on and then I'll talk about our topic? Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So, on our last show, we were talking about the purpose of life. And we had Sherelle and we had Mark. And Sherelle was talking about how the meaning of life from a spiritual point of view and how that spirituality was connected to the quantum field and the quantum world and how intimate it actually is. And Mark was talking about it from a community and a point of view of our legislation and our laws and how we need to get rid of prejudice and hate and anger. And we need to be able to bring the meaning of life down to our social structures because our structures have been discombobulated. He knew I was going to have a tongue twister at the beginning. So far, haven't missed one yet. So my perspective about the purpose of life for this show is passion. And passion to me is there is nothing in the world that would have stopped me from being here. That is living a life in passion.
Mhm.
And I didn't always live like that. You know, I lived a life before where if I had a little sore throat or something, I'd look for any excuse to call in sick to work because I didn't want to go. I was selling my soul to somebody or something else that was not in my best interest. And so to live a life that is fully aligned with who I am and what I think and feel and believe, and that is so attached to what I'm bringing to this world, I could not explain passion any better. So I'm kind of glad I'm sick for this topic. Now, we seem to have had a little camera issue with our good friend Lisa. So I will jump to, with Lisa. I'm going to go to Alicia. Welcome back. I did say we never have to live perfectly, just on passion. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to stick to my original thought because Lisa comes to this conversation with the perspective of sex. And I think I mentioned in one of my shows that sex is so integral to the creation of our life, to the fundamental ability to be human, but it's also connected to everything. Sex is the creative energy. And when we bring passion to that sex, we bring that energy. And so Lisa's journey on how she went from those paradigm of who we're supposed to be and the rules we're supposed to have and actually created a life that is based on what works for her and her life and her passion where she's true to herself. This is a story you have to hear. Lisa, before I go on, Alicia. Alicia comes to us with the perspective of coming to us from holistic and how when we're integrated in our chakras and aligned within our physical body, we don't create disease. And when we don't create disease, we can live in passion. We have that energy that's free to be used for what is best for us. And so we have the sexual component, we have the health component, and we have the sickness component. Lisa, would you start us off with your brief story? And then I'll go to Alicia and have her share her brief story. And then each of you will have your own segments in the next sections. And then we'll come back and we'll collaborate between the three of us.
Sounds perfect. Thanks so much, Kathy. I appreciate being here so much. My story starts rather generically. I was graduated from college, moved to a new city, met a boy, asked him to marry me 6 weeks after I had my first date with him. And we got married on the anniversary of our first date, and we're still married. It's been 37 years now. Actually 37 years next month. And we had a typical, what I believe to be a typical marriage based on conversations with my peers. The only thing that was maybe atypical was that we did not have children. But I had suffered from rather severe PMS early on in our marriage, which created an opportunity for me to take drugs that killed my sex drive. And so I had always joked with my husband, as like, we need a second wife. We need somebody that you can have sex with so that you could be happily married to me, but still get all of your needs met. So we had joked around about that honestly, for decades. And we didn't have a completely dead bedroom, but if I'm honest, by the time we'd been married 25-ish years, we were probably having sex 2 or 3 times a year. It just wasn't a priority for either of us. And what I've come to learn now is that we just didn't have the same sexual styles. I'm kinky and he was vanilla. And so the kinds of sex that he wanted to have was a little, boring for me. And he's fantastic. He's wonderful, great guy. But I wanted something a little spicier in the bedroom. And so his advances were not like making me come from my desire, basically. And so we had friends who opened up their marriage and became swingers. And we thought, oh, this is perfect for us because then we can kind of have, the kinds of sex we want to have with other people, and that would be great. And we ended up moving to Florida, which has apparently a very spicy a lot of sexual activity. And we thought, okay, we looked at Craigslist ads and we looked at Facebook ads and we looked at websites for, nude resorts and that sort of thing. And we chickened out every single time. We just didn't know how to get started in this. And then I joined an alumni Facebook group, and we just started talking about different things. And some of the parents there who were alums, classmates of mine, were having kids that were transitioning. They were, transitioning in and out of marriages themselves. And we had really open conversations. And I was introduced to the concept of polyamory versus polygamy, which I had always heard about, one man having several wives, which I thought was completely unfair because why couldn't a wife have, many husbands? But I never heard of that. So we opened up our marriage 5 years ago, and he started dating first, and then I started dating. And what I found out when I started dating was I started learning a lot of language about consent, and not that I ever had unconsensual sex with my husband at all, but I was always responding to his desire instead of coming from my own desire. I wasn't taught as a little girl to say what it was that I wanted. I said what I I responded to what it was my lovers wanted or my boyfriends wanted or my then husband wanted. And so I started being asked, what do you want? What do you want? And I had no idea. So I had to start learning for myself what I wanted. And that's basically how I got started on this journey. And now I'm encouraging other women to come from their desire and talk about what they want too. So it's been very rewarding, and the kinds of conversations I get to have are just fantastic. And I'm unembarrassed to talk about any topic anywhere. So I'm always open for ask me anything.
I am so excited to have this conversation. And it looks like we're running out of time to do Alicia's introduction. So when we come back, Alicia, I'm going to ask you to do your introduction. And then we'll come back to Lisa and we'll have more of an open conversation about passion within sex and health and our own best lives. Will, it's all yours.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Well, we're back, and I bet you didn't think that we were going to be talking about some of those topics. It's going to get better. But first, I want you to know why I wanted Alicia here on this conversation. Because when I was living outside of my passion, I got very sick. Not like this sick. I mean fibromyalgia, adrenal fatigue, osteoarthritis. I had to have both knees replaced. I was constantly fatigued, constantly in pain. And if I had have known what Alicia is going to share with us, I wouldn't have suffered for 35 years. So Alicia, tell us how passion and health go together.
Hello, everyone. Yes. So, first of all, Lisa, I can't wait till when we interact because, yeah, I love it. Second, a background about me. I used to have so many health issues as well. I suffered from endometriosis. I suffered from heavy bleedings where I could not even leave out the house when I came on my cycle. It just was so horrible. I stayed in and out the hospital for this health reason, that health reason. It caused me to become anemic. It caused me to have when I say overall, my mother used to always say, well, you just my sickly child. You just my sickly child. And I actually started believing that and believing, well, I'm always sick. I'm always something wrong with me. Maybe that's just my normal. I'm just always sick. until it took literally about 5, 6 years ago when I said it has to be something different that I can do, because every medications I was taking was side effects and causing other issues to happen within my body. And I'm like, well, then now I need to take a medication for this because now this is bothering me. And when I said, you know what, I don't want to take medicine no more. It has to be something different. I said, let me start looking into home remedies. Let me look into things where I can start healing myself. And then that's when it landed in my lap about chakra healing, and that your chakras is in line, is connected to your organs in your body. And by your chakras connecting to each organ in your body, when there's a blockage in your chakra, it's causing a blockage in your health. It's causing you to not be in alignment with, to have the flow. Each chakra spins in a different way. It spins counterclockwise and then clockwise, and it rotates on each chakra the way it spins. Our 7 main points of chakra is your root, your sacral, your solar, your throat, your I miss your heart. Your sacral, your solar, your heart, then your throat, your pineal gland, which is your third eye, and then your crown. Those 7 are your main points of chakras. You have chakras throughout your whole body, but they're the main, like, think of it like your main arteries, like your veins and then your arteries. So the chakras is the same way, because you have chakras in your hands and your legs, your arms and your feet, but they're the main points of one chakras. And with that is one, they connected to everything. So when I can actually do a chakra reading and let you know this is blocked because of this what's going on within your body.
Yeah.
And when I started really diving deep into that, I've learned how to heal myself from a lot of issues. I no longer have endometriosis. And when I had went to a doctor and they was like, well, I had went to a different doctor because I didn't had it for so many years and had to have so many surgeries. And then I said, well, let me start doing some self-healing. Let me work on healing myself, healing my chakras, fixing all of that. And when I went to a new doctor to see if I still had the issue, they was like, whoever told you had endometriosis? Actually, I had endomyosis, and that's another form of endometriosis. Endo is the inside, and the endomyosis is the outside of the uterus. And I was like, well, I was told I was diagnosed with that for years. And they was like, well, we don't see it nowhere in you. I don't know who told you that. It's not there no more. And I was like, wow, okay, so this really works. So that's when I just started even working more so on healing with my cycles, because it's like now that I've figured out what was going on, I've learned the right things to do to heal, so I'm not having really heavy cycles when I come on my menstrual. And it's all about also the foods that you're eating as well. Different chakras, different foods represents and helps with unblocking and balancing different chakras as well. So when you having certain foods, like with root, that's related to the color red. So red foods is related to your chakra, which is your ground chakra, the bottom. That also helps with healing because you're eating the right foods to help keep that chakra open, to keep it balanced, to keep it in alignment. And once you learn and know all of the chakras and the foods that represents it, you will be able to stay in a balance, and so it can spin and it's turn how it's supposed to spin to keep you in alignment with your mind, your body, and soul. Because all of that is connected. If one of them is not connected, it's off, and it causes to be an imbalance. It causes us to have health issues. It causes us to have all kinds of problems going on within our body. And when Lisa was talking about the sex and the passion, your sacral chakra is represented with your the I can't even talk right. Your sex organs, and when that is blocked, it causes us to either have a low sex drive, and when it's overactive, it causes us to have an over sex drive, and it's like, oh, that's a sex addict. No, that chakra is just overly active. And it's all about really learning and knowing how to have it in a balance so that you can flow and have that passion and that loving passion sex. And when it's a blockage, you don't even want to think about having sex. You don't want to have sex, especially if you're having other health issues. It causes so much to go on in your mind and just block it out. So even when it comes to your mind and you thinking, that's part of your chakras as well. When you think about like with your crown, am I able to receive the information I need? What am I thinking about? How am I thinking? Your intuition with your third eye chakra. Is it blocked? I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. I'm always confused and lost. So it's really important to learn and know or reach out to someone that actually can read your chakras into a balance to help you with maintaining a healthy lifestyle for you.
Absolutely. Well put. I want to say, from Albert Einstein's point of view, he said that the future of medicine will be in energy healing, and I'm an energy healer as well. We know from a quantum physics point of view that everything is energy and everything is vibrating, and when we vibrate in alignment in our bodies, we have homeostasis. So if I'm hearing what you're saying, homeostasis is what we know happens in our body. You're saying the same thing happens with our chakras?
Yes, because like you said, we all energy, and it's all about the energy and the way the energy is flowing. And we attract certain types of energy into our body as well. So even if our mind is thinking negative thoughts and bad things, we attracting those negative energies that come into our body, and which is in causing us to have these health issues as well. Unconsciously, we are doing it, but yet we're still doing it, and it causes all of these issues to happen within our chakras, within our body, because of the energy and the way it's flowing.
So let me ask you, I'm going to tie you and Lisa together, and we're going to get to Lisa after the next commercial break. But what happens to your chakras in your body if you are not having satisfying sex, or if you are playing it small and not putting your needs first? If you're not in sexual alignment with yourself, how does that affect your chakras?
So it's going to cause a blockage, and then also not only is it going to cause a blockage, you're not even going to be able to be creative. So even if you like, and I know I've done this, I said, well, I'm gonna just put off when I first got on my healing journey, when I first was engulfing in this spirituality, I was like, I don't want to have sex. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I want to make sure I'm focusing on doing the right things. But then my body still was craving a need. And I knew what the need was, but I was blocking it, which causes me to have a blockage in my chakra, and it's not really flowing properly. So even though I thought I was on the right path doing a lot of things, I was still blocking an important need that my body was calling for. So then now I was not able to be creative. I was not able, really, I'm like, I can't think of what I want to do. I don't have creative juices flowing because I wasn't allowing my body to basically explore in that sexual manner to be creative.
Absolutely. The universal laws is something I talk about all the time in my book, Unlearn the Crap. And the thing that I'm hearing right now is the universal law of gender, where we've got the masculine and the feminine. It is those charges of the masculine and feminine that creates.
Yes.
Yes, the masculine and the feminine, you always want to have them in balance. Is that what you were getting to? Yeah.
I think we need to go to commercial break.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. You know, it feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
I apologize, everyone. Obviously, my passion made my voice go a little too much. Thank you, Alicia. I love the way you explained that. Now,
Thank you.
Lisa, you had a very interesting journey because you came into your sexuality at what some people think is the end of a woman's sexual life.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I had a friend who married an older gentleman, mention when we were about 15 years ago, when we were in our mid 40s. She said her husband started having ED problems, and she said, I didn't realize I had the last sex of my life. And I thought, whoa, I don't know, that's never going to happen to me. And while my husband and I sort of grew apart sexually, we still had a lot of love for each other. We still wanted to be together. Sex wasn't the basis of our relationship, but it was still for both of us something that was really important. So when we opened things up, I realized that I had not even I had not even seen my sexual peak yet, and it started rising with the men that I met. I found in them a sexual desire and awareness that I had not had before. It was their sexual energy that changed for me, and it was the things that they wanted to try and do opened up my eyes. I just didn't know what was possible for me. And then, interestingly enough, in January of last year, I went to a kinky get together, and there was a woman there doing hypnosis. It was hypno kink, and I asked her to induce me because I wanted the ability to orgasm more easily. I had had a lot of friends talk about how they were able to have multiple orgasms, and I couldn't even imagine how that was possible because can I say really anything? I was used to having clitoral orgasms, which are kind of a one and done orgasm style of orgasm for me. And once I started on this journey, I realized that there were all kinds of orgasms. There's cervical orgasms, there's internal orgasms, there are clitoral orgasms. And I started meeting men who were able to give me multiple orgasms. And I thought, this is amazing. But they were still sort of hard for me to come by. And so this woman, this doctor, Callie Dubois, hypnotized me and made it easier for me to have orgasms. And then a girlfriend of mine, she had asked me if I would be willing. She wanted her boyfriend to do a sensual massage on her. And while she was explaining to him what to do, in the middle of doing it, it became awkward for them. So she asked if I would be willing to substitute. And I said, sure, you can use me as a pussy bunny. So she demonstrated on me, and then he practiced on me. And we had a good laugh about it. And they broke up. And then she had another boyfriend, and she wanted to show him. And we did it again. And this time I had a lover who liked watching people do things when they were naked. And I thought, okay, this will be fun for him to, he can add this to his spank bank and it'll just be a little fun for him. So we videotaped her demonstrating the massage on me and her boyfriend doing the massage on me. And I sent it to him, and I asked him a few days later, hey, how was it? Did you enjoy it? Did you get a few out on it? And he said, enjoy it? What are you kidding me? I was studying it. That's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen or ever heard. And what we realized is that women have done ourselves a disservice by faking orgasms. What we were taught, what I was taught, I won't speak universally, but it seems to be the general truth. We were taught, all of the advertising, all the magazine articles were how to please your man in bed, how to keep your man happy in bed. It was all about responding to their desire and ensuring that they found us the most desirable. So the message wasn't be your best self in bed. It was how to be the best in bed. And we needed to compete with magazine covers, cutie pies behind the counter, secretaries at the office, porn on the internet or videotape or whatever, and the girl next door, right? We had every woman was our competition because that was the messaging that we were given. And it's bullshit. The bottom line is that when we are told that we have to respond to our husbands, boyfriends, lovers, and I do speak in a heterosexual sense, I don't mean to exclude anybody, but in my case, it was married to a man. When I was told that I was meant to respond to him, and it was common to say, oh, I have a headache, I don't really want to, I'm trying to put it off because I'm not in the mood. But I was never told that I could actually ask for the sex myself and say, I want this and I want that. And then we were also told not to correct them in bed, because if we correct them, we're killing their egos, right? We're telling them they're bad, sick, and wrong because they can't find our clits, right? They're not turning us on. They're doing the things that turn them on with our bodies. So we are doing a lot of allowing. And sorry, go ahead.
You for just 1 second, because you and I have been friends for a long time. But when you started talking to me about this yoni massage and teaching people how to have good sex, I thought to myself, we used to come from a culture where you were indoctrinated. You were taught by the elders. You were taught how your body worked. You were taught all of this on how to give and receive pleasure. There are men out there who don't know, and there are women like me. You're talking about body parts. I'm 59 years old, and you told me about body parts I didn't know I had.
Well, that's just it. That's one of the great things about what we're doing is she and I are teaching men how to touch women. And the majority of what it is that we're telling men is that they don't have to work so hard to please us. They just need to invest some time. So we teach them, and the women that we do two kinds of classes. We do classes where the men show up and they use my body and my pussy. Paris does the demonstration, they practice, and then I give them feedback. And I say, I can't feel that. I don't know that. Oh, that hurts. Move slower. You're moving too fast and it's putting me in my head, right? If we are, as women, we are constantly bombarded with advances and comments and winks and pokes and prods and gropes, right? And when we're with a lover that we might be actually interested in general, our experience is that they have a three-pronged approach. Flick, lick, and dick, right? It's just about getting us wet enough for them to be able to slide in. It doesn't indicate whether or not we're ready. And I was actually with a lover who we were playing, we were having a great time, probably 30 minutes had gone by, and he was like, okay, let's get ready. And he sort of opened my legs and was going to bring me to him. And he was like, oh, no, you're not ready yet. Let's get back in there. And he started, and I was like, what? I don't understand. I'm wet. And he's like, oh, no, you're not ready yet. And what I have learned now in doing these classes. And we've got men who are so excited to learn how to touch women, and they are learning so much. They had no idea what it meant to sort of open that rose, right?
Well, I
It's
don't want you to give too much away.
excuse me?
I don't want you to give too much away.
No, but there is a point. A woman can get wet and not be ready for sex, right? And once she's ready from sex, a woman coming from her desire is going to have far better sex than a woman who is open to allowing somebody to have sex with them. That's really what it is. But we teach, either they practice on me or we teach men how to touch the women in their lives, and we do couples training as well.
You know, I find this so fascinating because coming from Unlearn the Crap, about how we weren't taught about our bodies and our central nervous system and how our brains work. And we weren't talking about chakras, and we were taught about how to take pills and potions. We weren't taught about finances. There's so many things that we weren't taught about that I bet you the fact that you have been so open and vulnerable, you
Yeah.
probably triggered some people thinking, because we're not supposed to talk about this,
Right.
let alone as factually as you're doing. And I applaud what you're doing so much, because I had a conversation with a gentleman and I was telling him what you do. And he said, every man should be running to learn, because
Yeah.
imagine how empowering it can be if a man in his highest hormones, which I'm sure, Alicia, you can speak to how the hormones of testosterone and the chakras, when you are in that place, giving from that powerful creative energy, and the
From
woman
that
is,
passion.
yeah, from passion, and the woman is there to receive and open, and now you're creating magic. And it doesn't have to be under the covers, and it doesn't have to be with the lights out. And we don't need to be worried about what we say.
And we don't have
Right.
to be worried about what we look like. Uh, I have, the good news is our youngest student was 22 and our oldest was 71, which proves
Oh,
that you're never too old to learn something. And I even have a client who's in his 50s and is a virgin. And I had two men this last tour. One was a virgin, and he just wants the opportunity to have confidence when he finally is with a partner that wants to enjoy. He doesn't, after not having any experience, now he's got some experience, which is great. And then the other man got back together with his girlfriend and realized that in the time 3 years that they'd been apart, that she had found gotten new skills, and he was like, I'm the same one. I'm using the same tools I had before. I need to up my game a little bit. So he came to learn some tools, and he was absolutely thrilled to have learned so much. And we there are 5 points besides the G spot to play with in that area, and we teach them all.
you know what just occurred to me as you were talking? There's this whole thing going on TikTok about a man and a bear, and what would
Hmm.
women prefer. Imagine how men would be if they didn't have to worry about control and power and domination. If they came from a place of inner confidence and inner sexual passion and beauty. Alicia, what would that do to a man's root chakra if he wasn't in that place of anger, but a place of passion?
Ooh. So basically, because when he's in that place of anger and want to be in control, it's still a blockage there. And that blockage can also be coming from a childhood experience that it could have been, he was told, no, don't do that. That's forbidden. Like we were saying, how things are so, that's taboo. That's forbidden. Don't talk about that. And a lot of times the blockage comes from something from way back when we were younger and we didn't even know. So once they get balanced and unblocked, now they're able to come in the space of receiving what they need to give and do for their partner in a loving manner. And it's not just, oh, I need to do this for me. I need to release what I got inside of me versus I'm aiming to be a pleasure, have this as a pleasurable experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. We've got a few 1 minute before we go to commercial, but I remember listening to Dr. Christiane Northrup, who is a double board certified OBGYN, and she was saying how the testosterone and the estrogen in a woman the two of them are designed to interact between each other, and that one fuels the other. Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine where that energy fuels more passion between the couples.
Yes, and you know what else? When it comes to that being in a space of that passion, you can manifest what you desire during that sexual experience. Like you beyond your mind will ever figure of how you can manifest something to happen because you're in this passion, you're in this space where you feel safe and you
Yeah,
can actually desire.
absolutely. On that note, we'll take it away and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. So we talked at the beginning about Unlearn the Crap TV show is about coming at different topics from different perspectives and how they affect different parts of our lives. In the topic of still talking about the purpose and the meaning of life, we're now adding the sexual component that the hush-hush no one's supposed to talk about, even though it is a root main thing that our bodies and our lives need. And we're talking about it from health. So Lisa teaches people how to be sexually empowered and using that power of knowledge to really tapping into your best root passion and your purpose by being fully aligned and true to who you are. Alicia talks about how to heal and align through your chakras and how to take disease and push it aside because it's no longer available when you are in alignment and everything is flowing. Both of these wonderful ladies have put their email addresses on the screen. I highly, highly recommend you send them an email and say, hey, I just saw you on Unlearn the Crap TV. Can we have a conversation? And start a conversation. See if there's something that you didn't know, and it might change so much about your world. So I'm going to go to last thoughts right now. I'm going to ask Alicia for you to start with your last words and comment on what you feel about anything that's been said.
So I do want to say that I'm very thankful that you allowed me to be on this platform. Thank you so much. And what me and Lisa is talking about is so much in alignment, because I know it was a time when I was blocking my sexual desires, and by saying, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." Like we were saying, it's taboo. We're not going to do that. And because I am also into the poly relationships, and this is the way I love. And it's
Yeah.
like I always blocked that out because I felt like that is wrong, taboo. But then when I've learned to work on my chakras and learn to heal, and I'm like, that's what I desire, and that's what's part of me as a person. And when you working on your chakras and balancing it out, you learn more about yourself. You learn what your needs are for your body. You learn what your body is no longer able to take and handle. What you like 2 years ago or maybe a year ago, your body is like, no, we're not. That's not good for us. Even with me with food, before I became plant based, I started like, ew, this tastes stringy. I don't like how meat tastes. It just, my desires changed. And that's because I was working on my healing. I was healing my body and doing all the things, making sure my chakras was in alignment. And that's when I've learned the new and improved Alicia, because I was working off of a healing version of myself, not the broken, blocked version. And once you get your chakras in a balance and alignment, you will look at yourself in a totally new manner, because now you're learning who you truly are, what your desires are.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Very well said. Lisa.
I agree completely with Alicia. I have experienced for myself, once I have become aligned with my desire, my creativity has just blossomed incredibly, right? I opened up myself to love. Let's just put it that way, because not all of my relationships are sexual, but I've opened myself up to love, and out of that has stemmed so many creative outlets. My girlfriends and I have a podcast that we're launching. We've developed this pussy massage masterclass for men and for for people and for couples. Anybody who wants to play with a pussy is welcome to take the class. And my purpose is to really give women back their voices, to let them know that the men that I am meeting, whether I'm dating them or teaching them, all of them so genuinely want to please the women that they're with, their partners. They want them to be happy. And I think that we just have felt in our heads, I'm taking too long, I need more time, or, let's just get this over with and then I'll take care of myself, which is how I was brought up. Not brought up, but what the story I told myself. But our ability to speak our truth and to speak what we want gives us the opportunity to open ourselves up and master anything, right? We can master our bodies, we can master ourselves, we can master the world. And, if we're putting all of this great creative energy into good, instead of fighting and arguing and owning and lack and scarcity, there's enough for everybody, for everything to go. There's enough for everything to go around. I mean, there's plenty of love, there's plenty of resources. We can, if when we share, sharing is caring, right? It's
Absolutely.
just we're
Thank you. Thank you. I am so honored that the two of you have joined this conversation. Alicia, you shared something that I wasn't aware of, but when you shared how your life has changed, I'm realizing that the universe is more powerful than I ever imagined. And I'm a huge proponent of universal energy. I want to say that Unlearn the Crap is about unlearning the shoulds, what I was supposed to do, what is expected of me, who I'm supposed to be, and not worry about rules and anything that doesn't fit, that doesn't feel authentic, because that is being imposed on us. And when we are being judged, and when we are put in a place of shame, we are bringing the whole vibration of the world down. We are affecting everything and everybody. So when we're hearing about murders and crimes and wars and famine, imagine what we could do if we were all in our full aligned power. You've been with Unlearn the Crap TV, The Purpose of Life, where we question everything so you can achieve anything. I thank you all for being here, and I look forward to our next conversation. Have a great day.
This has been Unlearn the Crap TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Tune in each week as Kathy challenges you to rethink everything you know about personal empowerment and societal structures. Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.